welcome. Thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity here in Radha Govinda Mandir in Acyuta, like Srila Maharaj would say, this is the town, Acyuta. And it's very special for me too because my Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Maharaj, he will come here every single year. And he will bless this place with his presence, with his steps. A powerful Vaishnava always bless the land where he is. Yes, actually Vrindavan, the land of Srimati Radhika, is where the Vaishnavas are. It's not a specific place, although it is, but at the same time, Vrindavan becomes a place where all the Vaishnavas gathering and they speak the glories of Shri Shri Radha Govinda or Shri Shri Radha Krishna. So I will start with the Mangala Charan. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chaksharam Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayani Namine. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. First of all, I offer my thousands and unlimited Dandavat pranams at the lotus feet of my spiritual master, Nitya Lila Pravishta, Om Vishnupada, Acyuta Rasata, Srimad Bhaktivedanta, Narayan Goswami Maharaj. At the same time, to my Param Gurudev, Nitya Lila Pravishta, Acyuta Rasata, Srimad Bhakti Prayojan Goswami Maharaj. At the same time, all to the Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Parampara, and all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavas assembled here, please accept my pranams. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Chapatitanam Pavanevyo, Vaishnavevyo Namo Namaha. So, when someone asks you to speak something, it's not, it's actually for your own benefit, it's actually for your own purification. So I'm speaking now only because I need to purify my heart, and every single opportunity that someone asks me, it's an opportunity to clean and purify my heart, so I'm doing just for that. And also to please my Srila Gurudev, because he always encouraged all the women to speak and be like lion preachers, like become to preachers. So that's by his blessings that I'm here and I'm speaking in English, the class for the first time. So it's a very amazing opportunity for me. So I will give some context about my the notes that I will share with you, because we've been hearing from Srila Srila Maharaj this book called Radha Rasa Sudha Nidhi. So in this context is a very rasic book. So also I had the opportunity to attend one retreat in the past March in Govardhan, in this retreat, the main topic was this book, Radha Rasa Sudha Nidhi. And all the speakers there, very senior Vaishnavas and very Rasik Vaishnavas, and very qualified Vaishnavas, like Sri Acyuta, like Sri Prayojan Prabhu, Sri Goswami, Sri Vinod Baba, and they are very relishing these topics. So as a student, I could say, I could write down my notes about this beautiful topic. And also, it's very important for us as a practitioners of Bhakti, what is the goal? My Srila Gurudev, he will travel all around the world, and the first question that he will ask when he will come to the class or to the temple or to the Sangha, he will say, what's your goal? Why? Because we need to understand our goal so our energy and time can be directed to that. He will say, if you don't have a goal, it's like having a ticket for the train. And when you approach to the counter and you say, oh, can you give me a ticket? Yes, where? Oh, wherever. I just need to go. So it's very important to define our goal. And someone will say, okay, it's Krishna Prem. What that means? Although it's very high, although it's a very a topic that usually the devotees, they say, oh, that's too high, don't speak about that, or it's better to just be, in the ABC. But my Gurudev also will say, if you don't speak about this, so actually you are not doing the proper sadhana. Sadhana, the practice, your daily practices. Because when you do your daily practices, you have to be focused in what do you want to achieve? Where do you want to get? So the time and energy is focused on that. So yes, it's true, it's Krishna Prem, our goal. But how we will attain that Krishna Prem? We will attain by the mercy of a pure devotee, first of all. Because the Guru is the backbone of Bhakti. If you don't have a very established and bona fide Guru, it's very hard to walk in this path. Why? Because you don't know what to do. And no one knows you better than your Guru. But this personality is a spiritual personality. It's a personality who descends from that realm, from that spiritual abode. So he knows. When I was in the presence of my Gurudev, it was so extreme because I could feel that love. I could feel that his presence was so overwhelming by love that I couldn't say anything, that I couldn't have any particular of doubt about who he is. And actually, I believe in this process because of him. Because if you meet like a normal person from this material world, conditioned person, then you think, oh, well, these Hare Krishnas, they're nice, and they sing, but it's not like a real faith. That, oh yes, this is the real path, and this is the real deal for my life. As long as you don't meet this extreme and strong and personality, it can be hard to relate to the process. Or you can be easily deviated, like, I will do something else. So I wish everyone to have that experience that is very transformative. It transforms your life, transforms the way you think, transforms your heart with the time. Because my first meeting was like I was, kind of levitating there in front of my Guru there. That was my experience, that I couldn't say anything, I didn't know anything. Although I was coming with questions, like I will ask this. But then it was so overwhelming, so I couldn't say anything. But with the time I could understand slowly what that means. What it means to have that personality in my life, in all disciples' life. So then my Gurudev will say always, going back to what's the goal of your life, what's the goal of your practice. So yes, it's true, it's Krishna Prem. But who's the owner of that Krishna Prem? Because Krishna Prem means Prem, it means love, divine love. Divine love for Krishna. Who is the shelter of that love? Who is the reservoir of that love? His devotees, right? His Bhakta. The Bhakta is who possess the Bhakti. And who's his Bhakta? The most prominent and the only one is Srimati Radhika. She is the reservoir of Krishna Prem. So she will give you Krishna Prem, not Krishna. So it's very important to understand this because it's very subtle. Yes, Krishna is very merciful. But more merciful than Krishna is Srimati Radhika. There. So in the scripture says, in Chaitanya Charitamrita says, Radha Krishna Eka Atma Dui Deha Thori. They are one soul. Anyone Avilasa, Anyone Vilasa Rasa, Ashwadana Kori. But they became two to relish each other. The love from each other, for each other, they become two, but they are one and the same. Radha Krishna E Dui, Radha Krishna Ekatma. One soul and the same. But they become two to relish each other's love. So our goal is to please Srimati Radhika, so she can be giving us the Krishna Prem. So actually now I'm translating this book. If you see Srila, the Supreme Shelter, from Srila Gurudev. And this book starts with a question. By what means one can attain the mercy of Sri Krishna? And the answer is given by Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur. Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur is the father of all the Gaudiya Vaishnavism. If you know him, he's like the father, he's the preacher, the main preacher who was at the time catching the jungles of this misunderstanding, the Gaudiya Vaishnavism. So he will reply, unless one become as a follower of Rupa Nuga, as followers of Rupa Goswami, one cannot be qualified to get the mercy of Srimati Radhika. And only by her you will get Krishna. So he will say that to become the Rupa Nuga, or the follower of Rupa Goswami, we need to become a Kinkara of our Gurudev. Kinkara means king, what? Kara, what to do? What can I do for you? What can I do for you, Gurudev? And this is life and soul. What can I do for my Gurudev? What he is asking of me to do. So when it comes this in your life, actually you forget about everything else. Because his potency is so powerful that whatever he wants, you will do it out of love. And that will be for you your own happiness. So, Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur said that one needs to accept and become the kinkari of your Gurudev. For example, my Gurudev, as a big spiritual master that you see him here, what he was doing before when he joined the mat, the temple, the mission, he was washing every single shoes of the people who will come to the temple in Navadvip. Right? We leave our shoes outside. So he will come in a very secret way and he will start to clean, to wash the shoes of the devotees there. Or he will wash the pots, because at that time there was no electricity. There was this kerosene, so that would make a big black thing in the pots. So he will wash them. So he will do all these small service, but all the time engage in that. By doing that, he got the mercy of his Gurudev. He never said, okay, now I'm the big preacher, I will go and preach to America, Europe, so please arrange my programs. No, that came when he was already 77, 75 years old. And he joined the mat at the age of 25. So the process it's not a cheap process. We need to do this Guru Seva very hard. You have to break your back to give the life and soul for Gurudev. Then you will get his blessings. In the sense that we need to do the service to him. Right? So, what is this authentic Vaishnavism? Because we belong to this family of the Vaishnavas. Means that we need to understand the process how to get to the mercy of Srimati Radhika. And actually all these speakers in this retreat, they will emphasize and saying, this is the goal. And we need to pray to Radharani, also as Srila Bhakti Swarup, Srila Maharaja was encouraging us. You pray to Radharani every single day, and she will listen. My Gurudev also used to teach us this verse, Vachami Radham Aravinda Nitram Smarami Radham Maduras Nitasyam Tadami Radha Karuna Varadram Tatoma Manyasti Gatirna Kapi. Vachami Radham, he will say, oh, I meditate in Srimati Radhika's lotus eyes. Aravinda Nitram. She has a very nice lotus eyes. I'm meditating on that. Also I'm meditating in the sweet smile of her. And then he will say, I don't know, I heard from the Vaishnavas that she is so beautiful and that she is so merciful that only because I'm hearing from the Vaishnavas, I'm praying to her, and probably, and I'm sure that she will give me her mercy. Imagine, even Gurudev was saying that like that. So if we pray to her, we will for sure receive her mercy. It's not something like, oh, she's there in the spiritual world and I'm here. No, we are all connected, as we were hearing. We are all aspiring to get out from this duality and get to the real picture. So the real Gaudiya Vaishnavism comes from Gaudiya. Gauda means golden. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was the complexion, the golden complexion. Why? Because he was with the complexion of Srimati Radhika. And he came to give this what was not given before. Right? The Manjari Bhav. What is Manjari Bhav? Means to become a servant of Srimati Radhika. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give us this. Anarpita charin chirat karuna bhaktiho kalo samarpayitom unatoshwala rasam swabhakti shriyam. Swabhakti shriyam. The beauty of the bhakti. The beauty of the bhakti, and my Gurudev will say, the bhakti is the creeper. And the creeper have leaves. But it's not so beautiful only with the leaves. But if it has some flowers, it's more beautiful. So these flowers are the manjaris. Manjari means like the buds of these flowers. Radharani is like the creeper, and the flowers are the manjaris, her servants, her kinkars. So that's what and why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came. So if we say that we are followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, means also that we are following his precepts, his example, his life, and we need to understand what he came to give. So Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur, he said that, and this is published in the magazine of Harmonies. He said, until now, we have simply occupied ourselves in the process of negation, rejecting atat, that which is not. So he was preaching what very strongly against the impersonalism, against the sahajism, against all the preachers who were against the bhakti. So he said, we had enough of preaching this atat, which is not. For 8 years, our periodical Gaudiya, it was a magazine, has extensively discussed such issues. The sahajiyas can be greatly benefited by studying these articles. However, it's not possible to become advanced in the subject matter of Hari Bhajan if we limit the scope of our endeavors either to simply negating atat or to performing favorable endeavors. So it's not enough to say, this is Maya, right? And my Gurudev would always encourage us to not remain in the Kanishta position. You cannot be always in the same level. You have to improve. You have to go, you have to advance. So also he will say, like, I don't want to water down my preaching. I want you to qualify to get to this standard. Sometimes we have this tendency to water down the thing, right? Because why? Oh, it's so high, we cannot. No, yes, it's high. But also you have to have the spiritual greed to improve yourself. Because my Gurudev said, don't always remain the same. You've been chanting, he will say to Prabhupada disciples, you've been chanting 20 years, 30 years, and you're still the same. Have you experienced something? Have you experienced Krishna? Oh no, Gurudev, we are just chanting 16 rounds. But that's not enough. Why? Because you are in the desert of Maya. And one drop of water will never satisfy you because this is the desert. So that's not enough. He will always encourage you need to chant 64 rounds every single day. And actually, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur will say, and when he will speak about Radharani, he will say, okay, only the devotees who are chanting 64 rounds for at least 10 years, they can sit here and listen. Otherwise, not. So that's the standard, and we need to be very clear what's the standard so we can improve ourselves to get there. Otherwise, we are doing something else. So in this mission, Srila Narayan Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, was actually, it was his mission to preach Radharani's Radha Tattva. And he will always ended up with this every single Harikatha, if you listen from him, always in the rasic way, always glorifying Srimati Radhika. And he will say, I don't care if the rest of the people calls me like Sahajiya. What it means, Sahajiya means that devotee who is imitating the great souls. And sometimes they will call, oh, Narayan Maharaj is Sahajiya. But he said, I don't care, because while I'm relishing these moods of Radharani, I won't follow, I will fall down. I won't do that. But you that are criticizing this, you will fall down. So what it means, that we need, accordingly to our adhikar, or our qualification, we need to improve. So Srila Gurudev will say, to get the favor of Krishna, we need to worship his counterpart, Srimati Radhika. So as a devotees, that's not a subject that we should not speak. We should speak, because are the sweets for our practice. Sometimes becomes very dry. Gurudev will say also, I give you these little sweets about the Radharani, about Krishna and the pastimes, because they're sweets that will help you in this dry, that becomes a dry process for you. Also, our Goswami, Srila Raghunath Goswami, he will say, Anaradiyo Radha Padambojo Renum. Anaradiya Radha Padambojo Renum. Someone who has not worshipped the dust of Sri Radha's feet, Anashrityo Vrindatavin, Tatpadantam, means that someone who has never taken shelter of that Dham, Vrindavan, which has the marks of Srimati Radhika's feet, that person who has never taken shelter of that land, or Asambasya Tatpavaham Virachitan, or that person who has never served or associated with those devotees whose hearts are full and submerged with these sentiments of Radha, Kuta Shama Sindhu Rasasya Bagaha means we never get that Shama Ras, that Madhurya Ras. So the person who has never worshipped the Radha's lotus feet, the place where she lives, or has never taken shelter or served or associated with those devotees whose hearts are immersed, are absorbed in Radha's mood, it's not possible for that person to get Krishna. Srila Raghunath Goswami will say it like that. So it's not only like a romantic way to present Radharani, or it's not like, oh, by my sentiment I'm speaking. No, it's evidence with the Shastra. So to get that, to get to this beautiful mood, to aspire to have this mood, to become one day a maidservant of Srimati Radhika, we need to hear Harikatha. We need to hear her glories, their pastimes. We need to hear this, because when you love someone, you all the time hear his pastimes, his qualities. Oh, he does this, she does that, he's very expert in this, or she's very learned in that. And you get to know that person. So also, in this way, you need to know them. Who is she, who is he, what they are doing, who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or the Jivan Charitra of your Gurudev, what your Gurudev is doing, what he likes, what he dislikes. So in this process of hearing Harikatha, there is also one verse which is very important, because Harikatha doesn't mean, oh, I will sit and I will just, no. Harikatha means that actually it comes from the bhakti of the person who's presenting the Harikatha. Sautam shloka mahan mukachuto. Sautam shloka means mahan mukachuto, the personalities who gives these Uttam Shloka, these verses to glorify Bhagat Padam Vajor Kanadilai, means the nectar of the feet, the glorious feet of Krishna. The person who speaks about Krishna, by that sound, becomes enters into your ears. But the beautiful part of this verse is that when it says Sudha Kanadilai, means the red particles. It's translated like the saffron particles of that verses that this pure devotee is telling comes to you through your ears. Means that this Sudha, it's nectar. Sudha Kanadilai means the red particles of the lotus feet of Krishna, who's carried by the sound of the Mahan, of the Uttama devotees, the pure devotees, comes to you. Those red particles comes actually from the kumkum of Srimati Radhika. Srimati Radhika has this anurag, this deep and intense love for Krishna. So in this kumkum manifests, in this anurag manifests like a kumkum. So when she holds Krishna's lotus feet on her heart, on her breast, so these particles of kumkum, these red particles, actually are the particles that come through the pure devotee when he is speaking. So what it happens then? Smritam punar vismritat tattva bhakmanam kuyoginam na vitarati alambarai, means that we are kuyogi. What means kuyogi? We forget. We forget the siddhantas. Oh, you are not this body, you don't belong to this material world. We forget. But when we hear this Harikatha again and again, this will make us remember. So when we speak, when we hear this Harikatha, we have to understand that this pure devotee who's speaking actually is, by this sound, by this vibration, is bringing again this nectar of Krishna's lotus feet. Then I will remember. And actually we have the experience when we listen to these pure devotees, then suddenly we feel alive. We feel, oh yes, this process is so wonderful, so beautiful. I want to do it. Why? Because they have this. I'm just like a parrot, so you won't feel anything. Just this parrot who repeats. You teach some words and then repeats and repeats. So I'm like that. So when we remember this, it purifies our mind and our heart when we listen the proper Harikatha. So that's why we need to be very careful from who we are hearing, because also can be very contaminated if it's not proper or aligned with your process, with the bhakti process. So when we remember who we are, means that as we are Anuchaitya, means small consciousness, a small conscious, and Krishna is the Vibhuchaitya, the big conscious. We understand that as small we are meant to serve the big conscious. So that is the Swarupa of the Atma, to be the servant. That's our nature, to be servants. So for example, there is, I heard this in the retreat. So that's our nature, the Swarupa, the Dharma, right? The Atma Dharma, the Dharma of our soul. They make this example like Bali Maharaj. Bali Maharaj was the example of Atmanivedana, surrender. But actually his name it's Bali. Bali means an offering. When there is the fire sacrifice, we offer something, right? Like rice, we throw that. Or we offer the wood. That we offer is called Bali. So actually we are the Bali. We are the itself, the offering. So we need to offer ourselves to really do our Atma Dharma. We offer this to our Gurudev. So when we listen the Harikatha, this Harikatha is aprakrit, beyond the matter, beyond the space, beyond the time. And actually it can be channeled by the pure devotee who brings this Swarupa Shakti, the internal potency of Krishna, to us. That's Guru. That's the real Guru. If we don't have that realization, so we have to pray to get that personality who will bring us the Swarupa Shakti. And that's why it's so important and it's so fundamental to find the real Guru. Because it's only by this Swarupa Shakti that he is delivering, we can get free from this bondage. Not only that, so he will bring us to the service of Srimati Radhika. It's not like, oh yeah, I think that he's nice or she's nice, I will take, she's my guru or he's my guru. You know, they have to be very powerful. So from this aprakrita, this Harikatha who's beyond the time and matter, it comes this book, Radha Rasa Sudha Nidhi. Radha means Radharani, Rasa means the nectar or the playful nectar mellows of Rasa. Sudha means beyond and transcendental nectar. So it's a poetry. If we have the book, then we will see it's a poetry. And poetry in Sanskrit means kavya. And the kavya has also, by Kavi Karnapura, this scholar said, and every kavya or transcendental poetry has to have alankaras, decorations, ornaments. So this book has a lot of ornaments. As we've been hearing from Maharaj, he was speaking beautiful verses of this book, right? And this book presents all this poetry. And the words are like the body, the Purusha is called, and the ornaments are the alankaras, are the ornaments of this body, And also this body or this kavya or this poetry has to have a soul. Otherwise it's like a dead body with ornaments. But the prana, the life of the kavya, resides in the dwani. Dwani means suggestions. So everything related to the pastimes of Radha Krishna is poetry. And when you speak and when they speak, the acharyas describe the prema of Radha Krishna. It's not always in that direct way. It's by suggestions. So that's why it's complicated for us to just go and read it. It has to be a person who understands this dwani, these suggestions, what actually the author wants to say. That's why Maharaj here, he was explaining word by word what it means. Why? Because the author, for example, of this book, Srila Prabhupada Sarasvati Thakur, he is presenting the dwani, the suggestions. So it's like this: when you strike a bell, it comes a sound. That is the words. But the echoes that it keeps doing, it's like the dwani, the suggestion that comes in the heart of the devotees, of the pure devotees. So when the words give you like the first layer of meaning, after that it comes the dwani, the suggestions, what actually means. And only that dwani, or even inside the dwani there is another pratidwani, anudwani, only can be revealed by the pure devotees. So all the Shastra about prema or rasa, it's with the dwani, with deeper meanings. So in this Radha Rasa Sudha Nidhi, it's also these dwanis, right? These suggestions, these deep meanings. That's why Maharaj was explaining word by word. My Gurudev used to say, well, actually, he said to Prem Prayojan Prabhu, he said, oh Prem, I don't know anything about Shastra. And Prem Prayojan would say, oh, what, Gurudev, but you are very learned. How you say you don't know anything? And then he would say, because when I read one verse, I am lost 6 months in that verse. Why? Because of the dwani. Not only hearing one time the words, but he was relishing like these echoes, like these dwanis, like waves of that verse. So actually the pure devotees, that's when they hear Harikatha, it's like in Rajabhas, they said, utapare means like when you go to the theater, what happens? When it starts, the curtains rise up. The same with the Harikatha. When one pure devotee is listening to the other pure devotee, what happens? The curtains rise up. The Yogamaya curtains rise up, and the devotee actually is having that darshan. When the pure devotee is speaking, oh, Krishna is so beautiful, and he's with this Vajanti Mala, and he has this peacock feather. Actually, the other devotee is seeing that in his heart. So that's why in the assembly of pure devotees, they are relishing. For us, it's just, oh, this is information. Kind of, wow, I didn't know about that, but okay. For us, it's like that. But we are praying that one day also it can be like, oh, the curtains are open. Now I can see my Swamini. Now I can see Krishna, all the pastimes. That's Vrindavan. So by the mercy we can pray for that. So when we hear Harikatha, means that it's a reminder for us, as I said before. It's a reminder that, oh yes, we are not this body, our goal is to become maid servants of Srimati Radhika, to become a kinkaris of our Gurudev. We've been reminded. But slowly over the time, we can have the darshan actually of what we hear. So my Srila Gurudev always used to also bring one verse of the Radha Rasa Sudha Nidhi, and he will explain this verse, and he will encourage us to understand what's the position of Srimati Radhika and what's the position of Krishna. Because actually, Gurudev, when he came the first time to America, actually to Holland, 1996. So he will also say to the Sangha, to the disciples, I know that your Swamiji, your Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, told you that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But I came to tell you that he is not. Why? Because Krishna is Brajendra Nandana Shyama Sundara, he will say. And who is this Brajendra Nandana Shyama Sundara? He is the son of Nanda Maharaj in Vrindavan. But you know what? He surrendered to my Swami, to Srimati Radhika. And also, at the same time, Krishna himself, he will say, Radhikara Premera Amishishyanat. Oh, the prema, the love of Srimati Radhika is my guru. And I'm his dancer pupil. Student. I am his dancer pupil. And she makes me dance, and her love makes me dance in the way that this love wants. So he will explain this, of course, more deeper. But actually, he will say that Krishna is not that big Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's good. For some time, you have to realize that. But then after, oh, he's just the son of Nanda Baba, he will say. And he's begging to the Manjaris to come in and meet with Radharani. So my Swami is even more powerful, he will say. So Gurudev will say this verse, beautiful, this is the verse 2 actually, in Radha Rasa Sudha Nidhi, in this book. Yasya kadapi vasanancha kelanata dhanyati dhanya pavena kritartamani Jovindra Durgama Katir Banusula Nopita Syana Mastu Vishavano Bhugodishapi. He will say, or, Krishna made a big offense to Srimati Radhika. And now he is deprived of her presence. Srimati Radhika doesn't want to see Krishna. Why? Because he is a devotee. Devotee is the word? He's devotee. He did some offense to her. So that's why she doesn't want to see him. And Srimati Radhika is in a very deep man. What means man? It's this sulky mood, the anger, transcendental anger. I don't want to see that black face. So Krishna at that time, he is dying of separation. He's dying. He's saying, oh, where is my Swamini? Oh, where I can see my Swamini? I'm dying here without her. And actually, Gurudev was emphasizing this mood of Vipalana separation. Some other lines, especially in India, they are focused more in the meeting of Radha Krishna. But Gurudev will emphasize also it has to be separation. Why? Because unless you understand the nature of separation, you won't understand the nature of meeting. So he will say, this is separation. Krishna is burning inside without the presence, without the darshan of Srimati Radhika. So he will go to Radhakunda, this pond there in Vrindavan. So he himself goes to Radhakunda and he starts to pray to Radhakunda. He himself comes with the puja thali, with the plate of puja, and he starts to worship Radhakunda. And pray, oh please Radhakunda, be merciful with me. I want you to please grant me the darshan of Srimati Radhika. And he's also doing the 3 times bath. To go there, you have to do the 3 times bath. You submerge yourself in Radhakunda. And also he's doing that here. So how glorious is the love of Srimati Radhika, because himself, Krishna, is praying to have this darshan of her. So he was doing that at that time, praying, and of course Radhakunda is very merciful, is Radharani herself. So at that time, Radharani came with her sakis in the opposite side. So in one bank of this pond, it was Krishna praying, and the other, in the opposite way side, was Radharani arrived with her sakis. And she sat there, and Krishna was praying. And what happened? Pavanina, the breeze that touched the Vasanchana Kilanota, the breeze of the anchal of the veil of Srimati Radhika, lifted up the corner of the veil, lifted up, and that breeze also became intoxicated with the fragrance of Srimati Radhika. She has one quality, and that quality is her fragrance. One of the 25 qualities is Gandha, fragrance. So this breeze came and touched the corner of the anchal of the veil of Srimati Radhika and lifted up, but the same breeze became intoxicated. And it was kind of stumble, like moving like this. And this breeze carried the fragrance of Srimati Radhika to the nostrils of Krishna, to the opposite bank, right, to the other side of Radhakunda. And then when this breeze came into the nostrils of Krishna, Krishna said, Kritartamani, oh, my life is returned, and my life now is successful. So before Krishna was praying, like in this verse, Shamatama Param, Kada Pita Visham Nakarami, He Sundari, Darshanam Mama Manmantena, Dunami Hari Hari, Haratadaya. He Sundari, oh beautiful one, please give me your darshan. I promise to you that I want to do that again. Please forgive me. Tavedrisham Nakarumi, oh please show me your face. And I won't do that again. I won't do that again. So Gurudev will say, how powerful is my Swamini? Now you can see. Because Krishna is himself praying and be grateful to the breeze that touched the corner of the veil of Srimati Radhika. And he's saying, oh, now my life is successful. Kritartamani. Also, even for those devotees, like when it says Yogindra Durgama Gatir, even for those who are doing big tapasya, austerities, like the Nava Yogendras, the 12 Mahajans, all these other devotees who are praying just to have, or they are in deep meditation, in samadhi, praying to have the darshan, even of the toenail of Sri Krishna, it's hard for them even to get that. What to speak that Krishna himself is in Vrindavan being very grateful and saying, oh my God, now my life came back because of this breeze that I can feel, that I can smell the fragrance of Srimati Radhika. So that's the Vipralambaras. That's the separation mode that our Gurudev will always encourage. And actually, he will say all the time, we are training, or we are trained here in the separation mode. Because our Gurudev is not physically always with us, right? Or we are not always physically in front of Thakurji or the deities, or we are not always physically present in Vrindavan. Actually, our service all the time is in separation. So what separation does? It does when you meet that person who are you longing for, that you really want to meet that person. What happens when it comes true? You just explode of love, right? You say, oh, it was so long that you embrace the person that you love. So imagine in those higher levels of this divine love between Radha and Krishna. Yes, there is separation, even though it's a very deep subject. Actually, Vipralambaras is not just the way I'm presenting here, because it goes very deep. But we can understand that when they meet, it's such a joyful experience, because they feel that they were separated from each other, like for a very long time. But actually it was not like that. But the power of the prema, the divine love, it's like Krishna thinks, oh, I never saw that beautiful girl before. Or Radharani thinks the same, oh, that's so beautiful boy, I never seen that boy in my life. And the Sakis are, what? But last night you were doing the Rasa Lila with him. But, it's true of the love of Radharani that also she forgets that actually she met before with Krishna. So that is all these beautiful moods that we can hear and that can inspire us to follow this path. Also, in this retreat, which it was really wonderful, because it was the first time that actually you have a retreat of the devotees of Gaudiya who are focused in listening the glories of Srimati Radhika, our supreme goal. It was very ecstatic. It was very, it's a treasure. Because usually it doesn't happen like that. I can say not so many congregations just sit and glorify Radharani, although it's the supreme goal. That's quite strange. But it happens. So it happened like that in Govardhan, in this retreat. So there is one speaker there who is a Pandit, Acyuta, and he's not only a Pandit, but he's a Brajavasi, so he has very special moods. And when he speaks, also he gives you these particles of the dust of this glorious feet of Krishna, because when he speaks, then you feel, wow, this is so sweet, Vrindavan is so sweet. So when he was speaking, he started with the explanation of Krishna Tattva. Who is Krishna? Why we say this is the Supreme Personality of Godhead? What it means, this Godhood? So he started with like this kind of dry philosophy that you say, oh wow, okay. And then he spoke about Brahma, and what's Paramatma, what's Bhagavan. And why? Because he wanted us to have the foundation that later we can speak about Radharani. Yes, it's true. It's higher topic, Radharani. But nevertheless, we can speak and glorify her. That's my encouragement. So he, as a Brajavasi, and he's very knowledgeable, and he's so sweet that when you listen, it creates in your heart like this beautiful kunja of Vrindavan. So he was saying that it's very important for us to meditate in this identity that we are these manjaris of Srimati Radhika, that we are her servants. He was encouraging us, yes, you meditate in this, because actually this is the whole purpose in Bhakti. So also he will say that the Raganuga Bhakti should, to perform Raganuga Bhakti means to perform like this spontaneous love for Radha and Krishna. We need to have four things, or we need to concentrate in four things. Before I go to the Raganuga Bhakti, there is two types, right? Vaidhi Bhakti and Raganuga Bhakti. Vaidhi means to follow rules and regulations, and Raganuga means spontaneously you do the service out of love. But you need to do both. You need to do simultaneously both. Follow the rules and regulations, what to do or what not to do, and also this meditation, this spontaneous love, and these prayers you have to do together. So, but to develop this spontaneous love for Krishna, we need to have four things. The first one is lopa. Lopa means greed, spiritual greed. I want that. One day, I want to become the maidservant of Srimati Radhika. And my Gurudev will present a very beautiful example. It's like a dog. We are the dog, and we are outside the sweet shop. And the sweet shop has these sweets, right? So the dog is drooling while seeing that sweets. And the dog is just sitting there waiting for someone to give a little piece of that sweet. So we are like that. And the dog doesn't move even an inch, but he is waiting there to, I will wait. Somebody will give me, somebody will throw something to me. He will say like that. And you have to be like that. So you can see if one dog comes to you and he's all the time, and he's very like that, very steady, waiting for you, it melts your heart, right? And then you suddenly say, okay, yes, I will give this. Take it. So we need to be like this dog, waiting for that mercy, like drooling. My Gurudev will give me, my Gurudev will give me, my Guru. Actually, Bhaktivedanta Thakur said, I'm like a dog at your door. So it means we wait for that mercy, lopa, greed. So Gurudev will say all the time, if you don't have this greed, I don't know what you're doing. Why? Because greed also means intention. I have the intention to get this. It's not like, oh, like this tatashta neutral thing. Well, I don't care. The devotees are gathering there and playing flower. Or maybe, yes, I will go, but I'm indifferent. This indifferent mood. So Gurudev will say, this is not proper, this is not good. If you go, you engage yourself with intention. I came here to listen, I came here to sing, I came here to give the class, I came here to cook, I came here to make the garden, but with intention, with greed. Lobha. So Bhataji, this devotee, will say this Lobha is to one day to become the servant as Rupa Manjari, like they serve, like Rupa Manjari serve, like Rati Manjari, and we will serve them. And the second thing is Anugatya. Anugatya means subordination. Anugatya means to be under guidance. So even from here, from this plane, we need to be under guidance. So we are not looking for this freedom to do what I want. I'm sorry, it's not like this. This is not the path for that. The path of this process is to follow the footsteps of your Gurudev or your Guru Jad, of your Guru Varga, of all the Acharyas. Is to be engaged in that path. So this Anugatya starts here, but also goes beyond in the spiritual world. Because only when a Manjari when a Manjari will take you and she will say, oh, this is my friend, and she will do this service. Then you can do service to Priyalal, to Radha Krishna. Otherwise it's not like, oh, hello, I just arrived to the spiritual world and I will do this service because I think that I like the most. I will do it. No, it's actually under guidance that you will be introduced to that kunja, to that service under the guidance of Rupa Manjari. So that's why we say here, Rupa Nugas. We are the followers of Rupa Goswami. Rupa Goswami teachings. Srila Gurudev will say, we are Rupa Nuga. We follow Rupa Goswami in our sadhaka deha, in our body, material body. But also in our siddha deha, in our spiritual body, we follow Rupa Manjari. And not only that, we follow the form as a Manjari of our Gurudev. Because all the line of Parampara, they are all made servants of Srimati Radhika. So to be an Anugatya starts here. What my Gurudev will tell me to do, I will do it. That's the proper and the right disposition of the mind and the heart to be in Bhakti. Again, I repeat, that's why your Guru has to be a bona fide and powerful and real Guru. The third thing is Kripa. Everything will be achieved only by the kindness and mercy of Srimati Radhika. She is the most merciful. But it's not like we will get there by our own efforts, or by our own capacity, or by our own sadhana. It's the mercy that we are praying to. We are praying for. So when we do our sadhana, our daily practice means that we are generating or creating a pot to receive the mercy. That's why we do sadhana. But not only because we do sadhana, then we will get that. No, it requires to have the mercy, the divine grace of Srimati Radhika. And the fourth thing is the Swarup. Swarup means who am I? Or where do I place myself in the pastimes of Radha Krishna? And that only can be when we are advanced, when we mature our process, and by the mercy of your Guru. So, Acyuta Lalbata will encourage us always to think that my eternal Swarup, my internal being, my Atma, has a form, and the form is a Manjari, this little girl that has 12 years and a half, but it's very young, and it's the new one. She's the youngest of the Manjari group, because and then you just arrive there. So he will say, this young girl will be there asking, oh, what can I do? What can I do? You tell me. And this young girl will be running here and there, because the seniors, they will tell this young Manjari to say, oh, please go and collect that. Oh, go and do that. And even he will say, they will slap my cheek, and they will say, oh, you did wrong. Why you did like that? But this Manjari, that's her happiness actually. That I'm part of this group and I'm following the instructions of my seniors. So he will encourage us to not only to think like that in the spiritual world, but also here. We have to consider ourselves not qualified, but because we are the servants of our Gurudev and our seniors. What can I do for you? I will serve you. Actually, it's a better position to be always a student than to start to think, oh, I'm the teacher here, I'm the one here, right? Because also that can be very dangerous. So then he will say, why I adopt the servitude of Radharani? Why I want to get this Manjari Bhav? Why I want to become a Manjari? Because he said, this is the Parakasta Seva. It's the best Seva. Why? Because even if I become in my spiritual body like the most beautiful queen or lady, and I just want to have a direct relationship with Krishna, that will be not enough for him. Why? Because he only thinks and cares about Srimati Radhika. He will be always only seeing Srimati Radhika. And his pleasure will be only reside in Srimati Radhika. So it doesn't matter if you become the most beautiful queen and you want to have a straight, direct relationship with Krishna, that will be not enough. You won't make Krishna happy, he will say. So, but if you become the dasi and the servant of Srimati Radhika, for sure you will make Krishna happy. So you aspire to that, because that is the Parakasta Seva, he will say. And what is this Seva? Actually, is to, the dasis or the manjaris are always ready to engage themselves and prepare everything for the meeting of Radha Krishna. So they will prepare Srimati Radhika, they will dress her, they will decorate her, and they will bring Srimati Radhika to the kunja. So when he speaks this, when he says, oh, I will grant the hand of my Swamini to Krishna, you know, he can't control himself and he is like shocking, the voice is shocking. Why? Because he's realizing that. Right? So the pure devotee is really realizing that oh, my Swamini, I will give to Krishna, my precious Swamini, not only this lady, no, my precious Swamini, I'm giving to Krishna. So you, Krishna, better behave. That's the word. You, Krishna, better behave. And if we see in all the pastimes, the manjaris are the ones who chastise all the time Krishna, the gopis. Lalita, for example, right? She's always saying, oh, Kalankini, oh, my Srimati Radhika, don't be so easily to attain. Don't give or you being very contrary to Krishna. He needs to realize who you are. So the gopis and the manjaris are like that, protective of Srimati Radhika. They want to protect her. And Bhataji, Acyuta Bhatta will say that's my service. That's the most and valuable and the most excited service to do. So he will say, yes, when you chant, or not only him, but all our Gurujan, our all nine, said, when you chant, meditate on this also. Because in the name is Radha Krishna. But have some more inclination to Srimati Radhika. Everyone will say, yeah. Maybe 99% for Radharani and then the rest for Krishna. Because only Krishna is important for us, because he is the beloved of our Swami. Raghunath Goswami will say, oh, I only care Krishna because my Swami loves him. And my Gurudev would say all the time, oh, I sing this or I do this because it's to my Swami. Otherwise I won't do it if it's only Krishna there. I won't go there. So our nishta has to be towards the feet of Srimati Radhika, with this attitude, with this disposition to serve her. But first, always serve to your Guru, because that's the channel. We cannot just jump. Right? My Guru there will say, oh, you want to jump to the tree and just get the fruit. But it doesn't work like that. You have to climb the tree. And by mercy, maybe you can get the fruit. So we put ourselves at the feet of our Gurudev, and we pray to him that one day we really have that aspiration to become a maidservant of Srimati Radhika. As also Raghunath Goswami will say, Tvam gopika prisharavesh tanayantika, tanayantike. Oh, I want to be servant of my Gurudev, Sevadikarini Guru Nija Padapadma. By taking shelter of my Gurudev, that my Gurudev is the dearest and closest servant of Srimati Radhika, but by taking shelter of him, Dasyam Pradayam Mama Guru Prajakanana Sri Radangri Sevanam Rasa Sukhavid Sukhinim Sukhado, means by taking shelter, he will engage me, Dasyam Pradayam. He will give me this Dasya, this service to the daughter of Rishabhanu Maharaj. Because the father of Srimati Radhika, his name is Rishabhanu Maharaj. So he will engage me in the service of the daughter of Rishabhanu Maharaj. But this service is so joyful, it's Sukhinin Sukhadu, full of happiness. It's very joyful. It's an ocean of nectar, this service. So I pray for one day to become and aspire. And don't forget this every day in my daily practice. Jai Srila Gurudeva ki Jai. Jai Shri Radha Rasa Sudha Nidhi ki Jai. Jai Srila Prabhu Saraswati Thakur ki Jai. Ora Premanandi. Any questions or comments?
I think that for me the challenge is like, if I think who Radharani is, and I think, well, how am I, like, there's like, I just feel that she's so far away, and almost like I shouldn't even think about her because she's so holy, so divine. Like, how dare I think that I'm going to serve her? So I'm like stuck, because I'm thinking, okay, yes, it's almost like we need to fall in love with her. But it's not something that can also be forced, because love is not forced.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So how do I approach her? But I'm thinking, how can I even approach her? Like, who am I to think I can approach her?
Well, I would suggest, yeah, actually, I had the same thought some years ago. I'm still having, but how it will help us to not to think in that way, because she is the goddess, as Krishna is the god, she is the goddess, and as I said in the beginning of the class, they are one, but they separate due to this vilas, to do vilas, to relish each other's love. But also, as our Gurudev will always encourage us to pray to her. So if every day we pray to her and understanding the verse, so we will have that relationship with her. Because actually she's the most merciful. And yes, it's a high topic, we know that, and we don't have the qualification either, but we have the aspiration. And it's our aspiration to get one day, in one life, in one time, to have that mood. And also, it's the mission of our Gurudev to come and preach that, Radharani.
To give us that.
And that to mood. Give it us. And not only Gurudev, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give that, to be the servants of Srimati Radhika. So if we pray to her like on daily basis, then we will develop this relationship like she's the one who can really please Krishna. She's the one with whom Krishna can be fully happy, the happiest person. And he's even more beautiful when he's with Radharani, right? So that's why Gurudev said, forget that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Our Swamini is the real thing here. So, yes, we need to know the ABC. We need to know what's the process and at what stage we are. It's true. So also, Gurudev will say, don't imitate. Don't be like a Sahajiya, imitate. Oh, because this personality is doing that also, I will do. Right? No, we need to also be very honest with ourselves and check our heart in what position we are, what qualification we have. But from there, pray to advance. I will say in that way. Somebody else wants to say something or to ask something?
I'll say that to your question, and you gave the example of Srila Gurudev gave the example of the sweet shop and the dog, that he also said the dog does not consider whether or not it's qualified to get the sweets. It has the greed for the sweets no matter what. And so to approach Srimati Radharani, we should not even consider whether we're qualified. We should have the greed. And also, to what you said about, yes, it's very difficult to get to Srimati Radharani. It's just why we must approach a qualified guru to take us there.
Thank you very much for your time and attention.
Thank you for speaking.
Thank you for the invitation and the opportunity. Thank you.
So nice to have a Vaishnavi speaking here.
Yeah.
We like our Vaishnavas too, but it's extra special for us. Yes, so thank you. You see the ladies in the audience are appreciating so much. So thank you.
Yes. Welcome.
Not that we're these bodies or anything, but
yeah, but we need this energy, female energy.
Yes.
I believe sometimes we get so much male energy that we. But yes, also it helps me in my personal journey to connect more with the female energy, because it softens the heart, and my practice are not kind of so dry. Like I understand, I'm not the Sahajiya imitating, but I am aspiring to get that.
Yeah.
So in my own experience, I will always encourage that. And yes, and it's very special as a woman. We have this potential that is different from the male. Our process with this female body is always different from the male. The austerities, the tapasya, the renunciation doesn't go so well with our constitution. In my own experience, I'm telling you, it's like we want to be the renounced, but it's so hard. It's become hard because our constitution and our mind is not the same as the male. The male devotees are very blessed because they can be very constant and have some discipline, like I'm living in the month and I'm doing it. And they have that virtue. But as a woman, we have to adjust a little bit. But also we have these virtues, like for us it's more from the heart, with the sentiment, with the devotion, with the submission, with the self-sacrifice. That's very easy for us. And those are spiritual virtues that we need to empower ourselves with that. Because we already have, maybe it's undercovering, but we already have.